First order today, I decided to sell a little bit more than half the oil. This is the Brent, actually, and this is not what I have it in, but I noticed the global oil is pretty much in a downward trend, and I think some of it is because some of the tensions have been not been heating up recently, as far as in the Middle East, and then there's the defense minister Barak's statement today that Israel will not attack Iran or strike Iran's nuclear facilities within the next near-term future, although all options are on the table. So I was looking at I'm in the WTI, so I decided to sell for partly because at the end of the year I'm down a little bit, not too much. And I decided, well, I can recognize a loss because I'd rather recognize a loss, and I think it's going to drop down a little bit more. A lot of times oil goes in a trading range of like $10, and I might pick it up down here if it hits this spot. If not, I'll be looking at something else. But I'm still in it because I think that it's going to go, I'm still about almost halfway in it. I think it's going to go to about $150 a barrel pretty soon because I think there is going to be a conflict in the Middle East. But I decided to dump a little bit more than half of it because of I think it's going to have a little bit of a pullback, and I'd rather recognize that loss at it's a slight loss, it's not much, because actually I bought it at $82 a barrel, around that level, but a lot of it's in UCO, which is leverage, double leverage, and it decays after time, so you need about maybe about 100.75 cents to get about break even. So I'm not down too much, very little bit, but if I jump back in and over here, that might be a smart play. I was also looking at some of these things we were looking at yesterday again, and I talked about demand destruction in silver, and I know there's a big variety of opinion where silver is going to go to. I know it's only the people that are in the gold bugs and silver bugs that are really talking about the astronomical prices. Now, I agree with that too. I actually think that it possibly is going to go past this $500 an ounce. I don't know exactly when, but and I could maybe see getting near this, or maybe even going over this, depends on how much of a currency destruction there is. But I really don't want it to go this high because I'm thinking about other repercussions that might happen. That would mean we're in a very great depression, and there might be more societal collapse, and I don't know. I really don't want it to go this high, to tell you the truth. But getting back to the oil again, I know I was thinking about Lindsey Williams. I always played it pretty smart on that. I did think that oil was going to be about $120 a barrel at the end of the year. I was going to make a play for oil too. I don't like going into every one single thing. That's just the way I am. I'm mainly into the precious metals, physical precious metals, mainly into the silver, physical silver. But I don't like I'm very heavily into the precious metals, even as far as the electronic funds go too. But I'm mainly into the physical. But I don't like being in one area. That's just how I am. I don't think that's a smart play to be all in one area. But still, I do agree with the physical silver as a very good bet. Lindsey Williams talked about in early 2011 and also around October 2010, he was reiterating that the oil prices would be around $150 to $200 a barrel between June 2011 and October 2011. From listening to his exact words of when he's saying it's going to be in about a year to 6 months to a year or whatever. And I looked at all his interviews very carefully. Now, I don't think all the words he gets is that great, because he's usually better about the oil prices, but that was a bad call. And I'm kind of wondering about this guy he's got the information coming from now, because when Ken Fron gave him information, it was dead on spot accurate. Now it's like You know, it's off. I mean, oil was down to $75 a barrel. Obviously, I didn't go like sell it then. You know, that would have been stupid. But um, you know, what he was talking about, you would think it would have been at least $110 a barrel or something like that. Even Goldman Sachs was calling $120 a barrel in July at that time when there was tensions going on in Libya. But considering that Goldman Sachs was calling $120 a barrel, I think they have a very good inside record on calling what's going to happen, and I think well, we all know, we think they mislead people. So I think this guy that's telling Lindsey Williams stuff, I'd be very careful about what's going on. I don't think Lindsey Williams is dishonest in any respect. I'm not saying that. I'm thinking this guy is not giving him all good information. So I always try to verify everything he says. He's talking about $75 to $100 an ounce. I swear I think that is just way too low. And I don't know if he's talking about as an ultimate price or what, but I think that is way too low. I actually think Max Kaiser's estimate is kind of low too, and even Bob Chapman's $500 an ounce. It might go past that. I'm not sure about going way past. I don't know. Maybe it would go to $1,000 an ounce, but I had to examine. You know, if it went to $1,000 an ounce, there'd be a lot of demand construction. Well, I just had to examine exactly what areas is silver really used in, and where would the demand be destroyed, because there'd be a lot more people investing in it. And I just had to look at the chart again. So looking at $1,000 an ounce photography, I mean, I would imagine that would be finished. You know, so there'd be a lot more silver available in that respect. Jewelry, I think that would be mainly finished too, because a gold product is much more desirable than a silver product, because gold doesn't tarnish and that type of thing. Silverware, I think that would pretty much diminish too. So, because, I mean, you wouldn't hear of anybody taking goldware today. So, I'm a little bit skeptical about the $1,000 an ounce, but I think it could go past to $500 an ounce. That's just my opinion. And if it does go past $1,000 an ounce, I think we might be in a serious societal collapse. So I kind of don't want it to go that high, but who knows, you know? Who knows? But if there was a societal collapse, you definitely would want silver anyway. I was looking at this because I found this to be very interesting. It was off the Wealth Wire. I'll post a link. It was actually from March 25th, 2011. I was talking about the inflation-adjusted prices of silver and gold in the 1980 highs, but it gives another number as far as using ShadowStats inflation-adjusted prices. And it says most people will tell you that gold's inflation-adjusted high is around $2,300, and that silver's is around $130. So, talking actually, if you're looking at ShadowStats, it's actually the gold's adjusted inflation-adjusted high for 1980 would have been $7,150. Even that number could be kind of low, because I think it's a good bet that gold to Dow ratio will be 1-to-1. And that the Dow is not going to be 7,000. I think this Dow maybe be more to 12,000. So I don't know. Maybe gold could be 12,000. This might be kind of low. As far as silver, the CPI adjusted inflation for ShadowStats numbers would be about $400. I just want to make note that on January 1980, when silver hit a 49.45 high, that was electronically. Actually, you couldn't walk in a coin store and get this, at that time. It was actually significantly lower, and this was a pretty brief period of time. But still, if say this was, I don't know, $40, $40-something dollars, this would still be about $350. And I think the situation today, and considering that gold would be quite a bit higher, because I think it's going to have to be 1-to-1 to the Dow, and I think how much money they're printing, that the Dow is not going to be at 7,000. I could see this definitely being $600 or more. I mean, it'd be nice if it does hit 1,000 plus. I mean, I would like that too, but I just hope it doesn't accompany with a societal collapse and all this type of stuff. But it's very interesting to note that we should be going up to at least these two numbers. And I think these are very reasonable numbers. And you know, Max Kaiser does call $400. I think so. I mean, you know, I think maybe he was looking at these numbers when he made that call. That could possibly have been, because if you're looking at the real shadow stats inflation adjusted number, the 1980 high would have been this high. And considering the situation that there is today, that's going to probably be even higher. Looking at what happened today, I was pretty surprised that palladium was doing well today, and it's a very, very volatile metal. So I mean, it could be pulling back again, and it's worse than silver even in volatility. I mean, it's really, you know, sometimes when it, I mean, I did buy this at some pretty good prices. I got it under $200 spot, so I was pretty happy with it. But do remember that fundamentally, I would think that palladium is going to be more than gold, and if gold is going up to $7,000 or $10,000 an ounce, I think palladium is going to be at that price. So I mean, you know, it might take a couple of years or more, but this price is $629 right now as it sits. You know, I mean, it could be pulling back a little bit again, but I don't know. But I think the 585 to 592 was around the low. I mean, that's what I figured the low was going to be. And it actually went a little bit lower than that. I think it went down to like 560 something. But it's still this. If this, you know, if you have the patience to, if you're going to buy this, you're going to sit and hold it and sit on it for a while. This palladium's probably going to be worth more than gold. So you know, I figure you're getting something that's about a third the price. You know, that's a good deal, I think. You're going to have some serious patience with this, though. That's the thing. As far as like what Jim Rogers was talking about today, I was listening to him. He was on Bloomberg, and Bloomberg was drilling him as far as getting an answer from him about buying gold. What price point would you buy it at? And he answered him $1,200, and I was like, $1,200? Yeah, I think I'd be buying that too. But it's he was thinking that there's possibly going to be a further pullback in gold because it's been such a well-performing asset class. Nothing's been anywhere close to that. It's been going up for 10 years in a row. So he's a little nervous about buying gold. He likes silver better because it never hasn't hit its all-time high yet. And personally, I would rather have more silver than gold too. And I don't have too much gold, actually. You know, that's what Jim Rogers was saying today. So he says he's a bad market timer, but he obviously must be doing something right because he's got a hell of a lot of money. But he actually has a major problem because he does have that much money, and he just can't buy, you know, a bunch of gold and stuff like that and to take care of all his money. I say Gerald Celente does mostly gold, so he does some silver too. So obviously a lot less wealth. So I think that right now the euro crisis is probably not weighting down on things as much, and everything looks pretty damn flat. So it's not much going on. But I think in my case, I'm kind of thinking this might go down, if the oil might go down about 97 or so, and probably buy some of it back. And it might go more into silver. I did buy a little bit more PSLV today, but I'll probably buy some more physical and PSLV in the near-term future, and re-buy back some of the crude oil if it does take a dip, because normally that's what it does, is it trades in a $10 range. And just the way the psychological plays seem to go is like when everything looks pretty good for now, which it has been the last couple of days, they'll come out with some bad economic news, and if there's not going to be an imminent attack in the Middle East, you know, I'd see the oil prices get hammered pretty good probably. So that's probably when I'll jump back in there.